If you keep ending up with people who can't love you back, it is not bad luck, and it is not because something is wrong with you. There is a precise reason it keeps happening, the same reason every time, and Carl Jung mapped exactly where it lives inside you. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you can't unsee it, the pattern that has run your whole love life quietly loses its power. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 3 things. The hidden blueprint that decides who you're drawn to before you've even said hello. Why the people who can't love you feel so magnetic, so familiar, while the ones who can feel boring or wrong. And the one shift that finally breaks the cycle, not by trying harder, but by becoming aware of something you've been carrying since long before you can remember. If you've ever looked back at a string of relationships and thought, why do I always end up here? Stay with me to the end, because the answer isn't what you've been told. Let's begin by taking something off your shoulders. For years, you've probably been handed shallow explanations for this pattern. You have low self-esteem. You love too much. You need better boundaries. You just keep picking the wrong people. And maybe there's a grain of truth in some of that, but as a full explanation, it's not only wrong, it's cruel. Because it quietly blames you for something you were never consciously choosing in the first place. Here is the truth Jung pointed to, and it's a relief once you really hear it. You are not attracted to people randomly, and you are not attracted to them because you're broken. You are attracted to what feels familiar. And familiar is not the same thing as good. Familiar is simply what your nervous system recognizes. The emotional climate you grew up breathing, the particular shape of love you learned first, before you had any words for it. If the love you knew earliest came with distance, with conditions, with having to earn it, then as an adult, distance and conditions and earning will feel like home. Not because you want pain, because your deepest mind confuses familiar with safe. It mistakes recognition for love. So when I say there's a reason you keep attracting people who can't love you back, I don't mean a flaw. I mean a blueprint. One that was drawn a long time ago by hands that weren't yours and that has been quietly running in the background ever since. By the end of this video, you'll be able to see your own blueprint clearly, and you cannot keep being unconsciously run by something you can finally see. So let's start with the blueprint itself. Where does it actually come from? Jung believed that the most powerful forces in our lives are not the ones we decide on. They're the ones operating beneath our awareness. He called this region the unconscious, and he said something that should stop you in your tracks. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Read that again, slowly. The thing you've been calling your type, your fate in love, your bad luck, Jung would say is simply your unconscious, directing you, while you call it destiny. And the blueprint for who you're drawn to is written earliest of all. Long before your first relationship, before your first crush, you were absorbing a definition of what love is. Not from what anyone told you, from what you felt. How did it feel to need someone and not be sure they'd come? How did it feel to be loved one day and shut out the next? Did affection arrive freely, or did you have to be good enough, quiet enough, useful enough to earn it? You didn't analyze any of this. You were a child. You simply recorded it, the way a room records temperature. And that recording became your normal. Here is the part that changes everything. Your unconscious doesn't seek out what is healthy, it seeks out what is unresolved. If you grew up having to chase love that kept slipping away, then a steady, available, fully present person won't light you up. Because there's nothing to chase, nothing to resolve, nothing that matches the old recording. But put someone slightly unavailable in front of you, someone a little distant, a little hard to reach, and something in you comes alive. You'll call it chemistry. You'll call it a spark. Jung would call it recognition. Your unconscious has found a familiar puzzle, and it desperately wants, this time, to solve it. That's the engine underneath the whole pattern. You are not drawn to people who can't love you because you enjoy suffering. You're drawn to them because they recreate the exact emotional situation your unconscious has been trying to win since childhood. This time I'll be good enough. This time I'll earn it. This time they'll finally choose me. Every emotionally unavailable person is, on some level, a chance to rewrite the original story, to finally get the love that once felt just out of reach. Slow down here. And do you see the cruel trick in it? The very unavailability that hurts you is the thing that attracts you. The distance isn't a bug. To your unconscious, it's the whole point. A person who is fully available offers you no chance to win the old game, so they register as flat, as boring, as no chemistry. A person who withholds offers you the game itself, and so they feel like fate. You're not choosing badly, you're choosing familiarly. The blueprint is choosing, and it's choosing the wound it knows. Now to the part that confuses people the most. Why does the person who can't love you feel like the love of your life, while the person who actually can love you feels like settling? Let's name the feeling honestly, because you felt it. You meet someone kind, available, genuinely interested. They text back. They're consistent. They want to build something with you. And instead of relief, you feel nothing. Or worse, a faint discomfort. You tell yourself there's no spark. You find small reasons they're not quite right. Then someone else appears, a little distant, a little inconsistent, harder to read, and suddenly you're electric. You think about them constantly. That one feels like love. Jung gives us two ideas that explain this completely. The first is the shadow, the parts of ourselves we've pushed out of sight, including our own unmet needs and the longing we were taught to hide. The second is projection, the way we take what lives unseen inside us and unconsciously cast it onto another person. Here's how it plays out in your love life. When you meet the unavailable person, you don't actually fall in love with who they are. You barely know who they are yet. You fall in love with the gap, the mystery, the blank space they leave by withholding. And into that blank space, you pour your own projection, all your hope, all your longing, the entire fantasy of who they could become if only they'd open up. The less they give you, the more room there is to project. The emptiness becomes a screen, and you fill it with a love story that exists almost entirely inside you. That's why it feels so intense. You're not in love with them. You're in love with what you've projected onto the space they refuse to fill. Now look at the available person through the same lens. They give you reality instead of a blank screen. They show up as who they actually are: flaws, ordinariness, presence. And that gives your projection nowhere to go. There's no gap to fill, no mystery to solve, no withholding to chase. To a nervous system addicted to the chase, that feels like absence of love. But it isn't. It's the absence of anxiety. And we have been taught so deeply to confuse anxiety with passion. The racing heart, the obsessive thoughts, the not knowing where you stand, we call that falling in love. Often it's just your old wound activated. Real love, the steady kind, doesn't spike the nervous system, it settles it. And if you've never known that settling, it can feel, at first, like nothing at all. So understand what's really happening when you say there was no chemistry. Sometimes that's true. But very often, no chemistry means this person did not activate my wound, so my unconscious didn't recognize them as love. The available person wasn't boring, they were safe. And safe felt foreign. You have been calling the activation of an old injury chemistry and calling peace boredom for most of your life. And until that flips, you will keep walking past the people who could love you to reach the ones who can't. There's one more layer, and it's the hardest to admit. Sometimes we choose the unavailable not in spite of the fact that they can't love us, but because of it. If, deep down, a part of you doesn't yet believe you're truly worthy of love, then a person who can't give it is the safer bet. They confirm what you already believe. They never force you to receive something you're not yet sure you deserve. The unavailable person isn't just familiar, they're agreement. They agree with the oldest, saddest thing you came to believe about yourself. And that agreement, painful as it is, can feel safer than the terrifying risk of being fully loved. Now to the shift I promised, the one that finally breaks the pattern. And I want to be honest with you up front, it is not raise your standards or make a list or just choose better. Those are surface fixes for a problem that lives much deeper. The real shift is something else entirely. Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." And the whole cycle we've been describing exists because of looking outside, chasing the person, fixing the person, winning the person. The shift is to turn around, to stop trying to finally get the love from someone out there, and to go back to the place the wound was first made, inside you. Let me be specific about what that means, because it's not abstract. Every time you feel that magnetic pull towards someone unavailable, that pull is information. It's not a sign they're your soulmate. It's a sign your wound has just been touched. The work, the actual life-changing work, is to feel that pull and, instead of chasing it, to get curious about it. To ask, what is this familiar? Whose distance does this remind me of? What am I, even now, still trying to earn? That single pause, feeling the pull and questioning it instead of obeying it, is where the unconscious starts becoming conscious. It's where fate stops choosing for you. Jung called the deeper version of this journey individuation, becoming a whole and complete person in yourself, rather than a person desperately seeking completion in someone else. And here is the heart of it. The love you keep chasing from unavailable people is, almost always, a love you have not yet given to yourself. The acceptance, the steadiness, the choosing, the very things you keep hoping a distant person will finally provide, are things that have to be built inside you first. Not because you have to love yourself before anyone can love you, that's a slogan, but because until you can give yourself that steady acceptance, you will not even recognize it when someone else offers it. You'll keep mistaking it for boredom and walking away. This is why the shift is so powerful and so quiet. You don't break the pattern by finding a better person. You break it by becoming a person whose nervous system finally reads safety as love instead of as absence. And as that changes inside you, the strangest thing happens to who you're attracted to. The unavailable stop being magnetic. The chase stops feeling like passion. And one day, someone steady and present and kind walks in, and instead of no spark, you feel something you've never trusted before. Calm. You'll almost not believe it. You'll wait for the anxiety, the chase, the uncertainty you were trained to call love, and it won't come. What comes instead is peace. And for the first time, you'll have done enough inner work to know that peace is not the absence of love. Peace is the love. It always was. So the cycle doesn't break with effort. It breaks with awareness. The moment you can see the blueprint, name the wound, feel the pull and question it, and slowly give yourself the steadiness you kept outsourcing, the spell loses its grip. You stop calling your wound fate, and the people who can't love you back simply stop looking like the ones you're meant to be with. So let me speak to you now, the one who's lived this pattern, maybe for years. Because this was never really a video about the people who couldn't love you. It was about the love you've been waiting your whole life to finally feel. If you've blamed yourself, if you've decided you're too much or not enough, or broken in some way that keeps ruining things, I want you to set that down right now. You were never broken. You were running a program you didn't write, installed before you could speak by experiences you didn't choose. There is no shame in having been shaped. The only thing that matters now is that you get to see the shaping. And you do. Right now. That's what this whole video was. The pull you feel toward the people who can't love you is not your soul recognizing your destiny. It's your oldest wound asking, one more time, to finally be healed. And it can be healed. Not by finding the right, unavailable person and finally winning them. By turning toward the wound directly, with compassion, and giving yourself the thing you've spent years hoping a stranger would hand you. And if you're scared that choosing peace means choosing boredom, that a calm, steady love will never feel like enough, I understand. You were trained for the storm. The quiet will feel foreign at first. But foreign is not wrong. Foreign is just unfamiliar. And unfamiliar is exactly what healing feels like in the beginning. Give it time, and the calm you once mistook for nothing will reveal itself as the very thing you were starving for the whole time. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. You don't keep attracting people who can't love you because you're unlovable. You attract them because a part of you is still trying to win a love that was never yours to earn. And the day you stop trying to earn it, the day you simply give it to yourself, is the day the entire pattern ends, and a different kind of love finally becomes possible. If any part of this felt like it was reading your life, do something small for me. In the comments below, write the words, "Familiar is not love." I read every comment in the first few days, And I want to see how many of you are finally seeing the pattern for what it is. Because naming it out loud is where it starts to lose its hold. And if this gave language to something you felt for years but could never quite explain, subscribe and stay close. Every week, I take the parts of us we were taught to hide, the wound, the shadow, the blueprint, and I put them into words through the lens of Carl Jung and the psychology of how we love. The next video goes deeper into what happens when you finally stop abandoning yourself, and how the love you attract changes completely once you do. Until then, protect your peace. It was never coldness, and it was never boredom. It's the most powerful thing you own.